Falcons hosting the Seahawks, potentially huge for the NFC wildcard picture. And even though Atlanta's at home here, Kirk Cousins made some waves talking about getting big road wins.
My teammate used to say, walk into your trap, take over your trap, was the line he would say. And so that's kind of what it is. You go into someone else's stadium and you try to assert yourself. That's what everybody's trying to do when they go on the road. It's hard to do, but that's certainly the goal.
RC, what do you think about that from Kirk Cousins?
First off, I'm actually in Kirk's trap right now, and I talked to him today. What I love about it is he looks like Malibu's Most Wanted, too, when he got the Scully on and the hoodie while he's saying it. But Kirk has become a part of this culture, bro. He's swag surfing. He walking into people's trap and taking their trap. This is a whole new Kirk Cousins, dog. We ain't wearing Target polos no more. Do you need my key too? I give you my key.
RC.
Oh.
RC. You know. Go ahead.
No, Marcus. No, I want to hear what you have to say. We'll get to locks and keys. Marcus, you're up.
RC. You know when he says your trap, he's not used to saying
not your trap.
Walk in your trap and take over your trap.
All right, RC. We got locks and keys. RC, what's your lock for this game, Atlanta-Seattle?
Oh my gosh, man. Kirk took the trap to Catholic school.
RC, what's your lock?
My lock is Drake London operating in between the numbers this week. Mike McDonald sort of employs so many zone coverages, also simulated pressures. And talking to Kirk and Drake today, they said they're finding a chemistry and getting comfortable with where to place the football when Drake's really covered well. And so I want to see some of that this week again.
Marcus, give us a key for this game.
Yeah, pressure. Look, the Seattle Seahawks have been hampered by injury, we know up front. But it's all about making sure that you can get Kirk off timing and rhythm. We saw him in some games earlier this year where it would be turnovers, and it's been kind of indicative of who he's been throughout his career. If he can get comfortable and settled in the play action, Kirk can rip you up to the tune like we saw him do with 509. But pressure he'll give it away, and you can get him on the ground, and that gets into his head. So that'll be the whole job for this Mike McDonald defense is to make sure that Kirk stays uncomfortable. And in order to do that, you got to take care of Bijan Robinson and Algiers in the running game.
For our game picks, no surprise here. Mina's on the Seahawks. Everyone else on the Falcons.
That is surprising. No, I usually pick against the Seahawks. Y'all know. I usually pick against the Seahawks.
Yeah. I mean,
he's very tough.
Actually, you do. Well, the teams be better.
Like somebody that
the teams do be better.
Like somebody that
snap
coaches
that
their
three-game
child.
losing streak. They enter week 7. Only the Cowboys and Raiders have more giveaways rather than the Seahawks. But if problems were only so simple for the 1-5 Pats and Jags, Drake May making his second start for New England in Old England. Mina, what's the lock to happen in this one?
Drake May is going to run for over 40 yards in this one. Caleb Williams just ran for 56 on this Jags defense. Anyone can run on this Jags defense, to be honest. But after watching Drake May's athleticism on display against a vastly superior Texans defense, I think we're going to see more of the same in London. And I expect them to have some success carrying the football.
RC, what's the key at Wembley?
Here we go again, not having production meetings. It's the Patriots' run game. That's the key to this game. How the Patriots are able to run the ball. This allows Drake May to be protected. And we also saw in the last game, this guy can really push the football down the field. So if that run game gets going like it did last week with Williams and Swift and Rashawn Johnson, then we can get into the play-action shot game, which I believe takes away Drake May having to make reads and gives him an opportunity to show that big arm.
So, RC, you're riding as we look at game picks with Drake May and the Pats. Everyone else on the Jags, that's 5 games we've picked.
With that.
We haven't had a sweep yet.
Look at my score, y'all. Look at my score. RC, you can't see nothing but my score 10-7.
What's your score?
Whoa.
What's your score? Okay, I couldn't see it.
So I go New England last year when they lost in Stuttgart to the Colts. That was 10-6 last year. So I mean, you have an extra point there from what we got in Germany. Hey, we got one more lock and key.
Phil, look out for your boy.
I got you, buddy. Hey, rivalry with a little added spice. Saquon Barkley returns to MetLife as an Eagle facing the Giants. Marcus, what is your lock for this one?
Yeah, my lock for this one is that Saquon Barkley will have at least one explosive run. In terms of the locker room in football, that's 20-plus yards on one particular carry. I think now with A.J. Brown and Devontae being back, obviously you got to pay a lot of attention to those guys on the perimeter. Saquon should have a little space to operate, so he hits maybe a home run, but I know he hits some explosive plays.
Mina, give us a key.
Yeah, it's similar. It comes off of that. I'm very curious to see how the Giants approach defending the run and whether they play as many light boxes as they've been playing all year. In fact, they've been playing light boxes at the highest rate of any defense in the NFL, nearly 70% of the time. However, that could be a bad idea against this Eagles rushing attack. So I'll be interested in seeing if the defensive coordinator, Shane Bowen, adds to stop the run a little bit, even if it means potentially giving up some one-on-ones on the perimeter to those wide receivers.
All right, y'all. Good news, bad news. We are in agreement. The jinx is in.
Okay.
We're all on the Eagles.
Okay.
Nick Sirianni, 1-3 in his tenure at MetLife Stadium, but we're all like in Philly. You hear the gong. But the NFL Live jinx, is it over? 8-0 in the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, we've been hot.
When game picks are all on the same side? I mean, RC, we're normally afraid of this. What do you think, man? I think we caught it.
Wow! Hey,
Yeah, this is
hey,
what we
social
do
media
now.
employees, screenshot this.
Yeah. How about that? Where's Lily
Bam.
at today?
Bam!
If you want to put it up any other time,
Bam.
it was wrong. Take that.
Well, the Jets receivers, though, heading into this Sunday nighter, struggled. Based on overall receiving score by ESPN Analytics and NFL Next Gen Stats, the Jets receivers ranked last in the NFL by a wide margin, bottom 2 in all 3 categories you see there. Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard, currently ranked bottom 5 out of 73 qualified receivers, which just makes you think they're happy to have Davante Adams in the fold. Jets interim head coach Jeff Ulbrich was asked if he expects a full workload Sunday from Adams.
I do. We didn't know what to expect with him coming here. Obviously he'd been listed on the injury report with the hamstring, so we had to make an assessment once he got here, and he's looked fantastic. He looks just as explosive and fast. It's not as much of the learning curve that a typical guy would have. For one, he's experienced. For two, he's familiar with this offense, and for three, his relationship with Aaron is just obviously next level. So I'm excited to get him going.
Yeah, RC, I mean, spent, 8 seasons together with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
If Adams truly has a full workload Sunday, how does it change this matchup for the Steelers' defense?
First of all, nothing heals a hamstring like good quarterback play, man. Goodness gracious. That joke gets you healthy.
I'm good.
Well, I think what it does, first off, is that the Pittsburgh Steelers are a team that matches their defensive backs, using Joey Porter a lot of times on the number 1 receiver, or definitely the guy that's a little bit longer with a better catch radius than the other guys. And so will Joey be one that shades maybe Garrett Wilson, and now you bring your coverage to Davante Adams, whether it be your backer, Mika Fitzpatrick, the safety leaning toward him. And it also makes you wonder, what are you going to do on third down? Third down is where Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams were so good during their tenure. 83% of his receptions during that 8-year span on third down went for first downs for Davante Adams. And so if I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers and Terrell Austin, I will make sure I have him covered. And that could leave Garrett Wilson in some one-on-ones where he has an opportunity to win.
Okay, stats, Ryan up here.
You see me? You see me?
I think the Jets
83.
do. I think the Jets now have an advantage in this game at wide receiver, in terms just because of the difficulty of handling both Adams and Wilson. But where Pittsburgh has an advantage is in the trend. Adams can't pass. He gets open quickly, which certainly helps in that regard. But this Jets offensive line is still an issue. And boy, this Steelers defensive line can eat. What strikes me watching them, obviously you have TJ Watt, who's one of, if not the best players in the NFL, but they are so deep across the board. I mean, you're getting Highsmith back in this one. Cam Hayward and Keanu Benton, guys, week after week this season are playing out of their minds. One thing I'll be interested in seeing, Steelers defense doesn't really blitz. Rodgers has struggled against the blitz this year, so I'll be interested in seeing if maybe they mix in a few pressures to throw him off of his game.
MK, I don't think you have to be interested. I know Patrick Queen is going to blitz Aaron Rodgers. I just got a feeling. This is what I was thinking about this game. They are going to use 6 in the rush. He did it a lot in Baltimore. He beats backs on a high level. But that rush and how fast can Aaron get the ball out of his hands? And I think that's the Devontae Adams impact more than anything. That unspoken language they have for Devontae to not show up as open, but get the ball out of his hands.
And game